What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. Wanted to address a video that I did a couple weeks ago. It was Tjass playing professionally in the CEBL. Since then, I got tons of comments out of left field. So either this kind of reminds me of like anytime you make a LeBron video or a Caitlin Clark video, there's going to be a group of people on this side that either love the person or a group of people on this side that hate the person. Then there's the rest of us that are somewhere in the middle. As I said in my video, I don't really watch a lot of Tjass, not because Tristan Jazz, sorry. Not because I personally like or dislike him, anything like that. That type of content is just not for me. I do appreciate what he does, especially like the trick shot stuff. It reminds me of like the Dude Perfect videos back in the day. I think what he does for the game is awesome, similar to like the Professor, kind of like what N1 did back in the day, Devontae Frigga. You know, there's a lot of basketball content creators that didn't make it professionally, that do put a lot of eyes on the game, and I think they do it in a really positive way. So while I think, like I said, some of that content isn't for me, I know there's a huge audience out there for it, and I think it's super positive, so I can't really find too many negatives. A lot of people have been talking about he was never going to make it, or of course he's not professional, of course he's not good enough to play at that level, and said I was capping whenever I said that some of the things he needs to work on, or it's a good opportunity, whatever. Then there's a lot of people that are kind of just saying, hey, he made it pro and he's gonna make it to the NBA and all that. I think there's an important middle ground we need to understand. So he dropped this video, which is the behind the scenes. It's called My First Week as a Pro Basketball Player. I think it's always important to remember that these guys are content creators first. Nothing wrong with it. It's just always important to understand. So posting something like my first week as a pro basketball player, a lot of people are going to think that means your first week playing professionally. I believe this is just like the preseason behind the scenes of how they would work, prepare for the season. I think it's awesome. I think this is so good for people to see. Every pro league is different. A majority of pro clubs even are different in how they prepare. So for me, this was just great to see how the Vancouver Bandits prepare for the preseason, the type of facilities they have, type of workouts they do, their coach's philosophy, all this sort of stuff. From a pure basketball standpoint, I think it's so awesome to see and to illuminate. We'll look here though. I think majority of the issues that I have with it are, I suppose you'd say, the lack of transparency. So if you look on the Vancouver Bandits page, they've still got Tristan listed on the roster. So they have 16 players listed on their roster. I believe you're only allowed to have 15 listed. So obviously some fishiness going on there. It shows you the league here. Maximum 4 import players per active roster, 6 Canadian players. It shows you the league rules. You guys can go check that out if you want on their team page. Then if you look at the actual league website with the team roster posted, he's not on here at all, which makes me think, oh, now they have 16 to 17 guys listed, but yeah, he's not listed on there. And they have in their 16-man rotation, he's not there. So there's been no announcement on the league website, no announcement on the Vancouver's website. So all the people that were saying this was just to get media attention, yeah, that's fairly obvious. The coach said that as well. He said this would be great to get exposure for the league. This will be great for exposure for their team. And I think Tristan probably knows that as well. Like, they're not signing him because he's an elite athlete, or they think he's going to somehow average 40 points and take their team to the championship. I mean, they are 8-1. They're already a good team. But people don't understand, like, overseas professional basketball, it's all about these random opportunities that you get for whatever reason. What is it? It's like luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So yes, Tristan might not be the prototypical player that makes it to the NBA. He might not be the prototypical player that makes it overseas, but everything he's been able to accomplish in basketball has led him to this moment. And I think when people take opportunities and try, I think that's admirable. I think taking these opportunities, recording it, filming it, putting it out there for everyone to see, I don't know. I think it's pretty admirable. I think it's a cool thing. I don't want to live in a world where people are scared to try things or attempt things, especially because he's so undersized, especially it's because he shouldn't make it. He shouldn't be successful in the basketball world. And look, chances are, if someone put a gun to my head and told me, do I think he's going to make it to the NBA? I'd say no. Do I think he's going to make a career playing professionally? No, I don't think he is. But the fact that you're trying is kind of what it takes for you to make it anyways. I got cut my freshman year of college. I got cut my sophomore year of college. I got cut twice before I finally found an opportunity where coaches believed in me, gave me a little positivity, allowed me to play my game. And then, like I've said on the channel many times, I led the entire nation in scoring for like 4 games. So I've gone from being a player that's not worth having on a team to being one of the best players in the nation. And then I got opportunities to play overseas. And even once I made it overseas, the very first season I played overseas, I didn't get paid. I worked full time. I was overseas working full time, but every single day I had to find some time to get into the gym to work out. And I always had people telling me, like, you're so lucky. And I used to hate that so much because I didn't understand my path or my journey or how hard it was. Even my first year overseas, when I came back home, people were like, you don't understand how lucky you are, or I would have gone overseas, but they're not paying enough. But it's like, yeah, I took these opportunities. That's exactly why I'm at where I'm at. Then after that first season, I did so well that teams were offering to pay me. Teams wanted me to be their import. And I was able to kind of advocate for myself. I never got an agent, but I was able to start demanding like what I thought I was worth. So all that to say, I've been in these situations where you're not good enough or no one thinks you're good enough. And then when you prove everyone wrong, when you work your ass off and you prove that you are good enough, then everyone will say, oh, you're just lucky. Or, yeah, of course you made it. Like, of course I could have done it too. It's the most frustrating thing. So when I see other people chasing their basketball journey, rather than just say they're not good enough or just say what I don't think they're capable of, for me, it's fun to sit back and see what are they willing to go through? How far are they willing to take it to make it on their journey? I think what he's doing is amazing for the basketball community, and more so amazing for people that aren't really in the basketball scene, that don't really know what's going on. Yes, they might be fooled into thinking he's a pro player, or they might be fooled into thinking he's good enough to be in the NBA, but I don't care. I don't care that they might get hoodwinked into thinking that. What I care about is that it's getting them to start paying a little bit of attention. It's getting them to wonder and believe that maybe they can make it, and maybe it starts them on their journey or their passion for basketball, or it makes them look into it a little further and realize, okay, hey, I thought he was really good, and if he's not making it, then maybe I'm going to have to work a lot harder than I thought. As of now, he still hasn't played any games for this team. He's only played in the exhibition games, which are like scrimmages, glorified scrimmages, basically, against non-professional teams. So, yeah, it's easy to sit here and knock all the things he's not good at or all the things you think he can't do, but it's much tougher. And it's much more intellectually honest to just engage with, okay, what are the good parts of this situation? What are the bad parts? And yeah, just appreciate good basketball content. So
you made it.
I just wanted to look at a couple points of this of interest and point out, first of all, the editing and the filming and everything of this is so well done. It's so good.
Places that I've been,
and this is very similar to what will happen a lot of times overseas. You get like the coach. This coach happens to be like the coach and general manager. Yeah, it says right here he's the coach and general manager. You get a lot of people that are just wearing multiple different hats, not always the same. Sometimes it's like the president will also be the a coach, or it's just a mixture of, you never know what you're going to get. So every club is very different, and yeah, you get the coach will come pick you up from the airport. Like, this is pretty much what happened to me every club I've been at, almost every club.
Always kind of been known as the coach that does a lot, right? Like, I equate what we do in our league here to kind of like the Heat culture. It's not for everyone.
Good. I'm glad you guys are here. We're gonna go to the arena, tour you around, talk a little bit, hang out.
Okay.
And then you're off for the rest of the afternoon.
And one thing you have to understand, this is for YouTube, so you know, he could be putting on his best foot forward, and maybe he's a real asshole. Maybe he doesn't usually pick people up, and maybe he doesn't present well in front of camera. But he seems like he does. And honestly, this is very similar to every pro experience I've had. Getting the walk through the locker room, very nice facilities. I kind of wanted to get to this part.
Was kind of the plan moving forward, right? Like we kind of discussed it in the car.
Yeah.
Kind of the way the roster's built, and the cool thing is that you're here now, you know, for a good week before pretty much anyone really comes. What is your like actual basketball kind of like acumen for spacing, for offense, for systems, like?
Thought this part was really interesting.
You think you're pretty comfortable with that as far as like what we would be doing, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, for sure.
No problem. Like
yeah.
pick and roll.
I mean, if you show me whatever you need to show me, like I would be able to
just pick it up quick.
Yeah.
So a couple things here I think are really funny. One, bringing the basketball with him almost everywhere. It's almost very childlike. So again, there's a couple things I think are like, oh, that's adorable. Like this is all heartwarming, right? Then there's parts where if you're looking on the professional side of it, he doesn't present well as a professional player or a professional person in general. Again, it's just something to think about, like taking a basketball with you and like slumping over on a desk, talking to your coach. Would not recommend this. But also just the answer of, what are your understandings of our concepts, to just go, oh yeah, if you just show me, I'll know, but not be able to say like what style of play you've played, or for them to have not had this conversation before was kind of interesting. I really wish there was a bit more transparency on how this whole thing was set up between them. I know, like trying to look at people's contracts or understand what the setup was, the business deal was behind the scenes, is like asking too much. I do wish we could see that though, just so we could get a better understanding. Instead, we all kind of just have to guess and assume. But I'm assuming they did go into this saying, hey, we'll give you the full pro experience, but you're likely not going to play any games. And I will talk to you as if you were a player that we were putting under contract. We'll put you through workouts as if you were. So it's not necessarily an act, but it's probably under the agreement of, hey, if you want us to prepare you for a season and see what it's like, let's do that.
Yeah. We'll talk to you.
Because I feel like most coaches would be like, dude, put that basketball down. Like, we're going to have a serious conversation. Also, I wouldn't want cameras in when I'm having these types of conversations. But like I said, it's probably in the agreement.
Kind of in the next couple of days, kind of about our value system and what really matters. But for me, it's like effort, energy. We call it E3, Tristan. Yeah. So energy, effort, and enthusiasm is like the basis for us. If that is.
This reminds me of Semi-Pro when he's like, ELE. Everybody love everybody.
High. We kind of score it on a regular basis. We chart it with our guys. We keep track of it. If that is high, then it's easy for us to work with you. It's easy for you to learn things. Mm-hmm. It's easy for you to improve, get better, develop, grow. But that's like the basis, right? You were one of our last guys to sign. So when I was telling the group about you, everybody was like excited to meet you, and even said things like they want to help you see if we can get you to that level, right, where you're.
And this is the part that I think is really cool. Especially in the CEBL, this is majority a league that it is serious, it is professional, but it's more so for the guys that are playing overseas. When they have, like in their off season, they usually come play in this, some of them come play in the CEBL. So there's a lot of leagues that are kind of for professional players, like off season, so they can stay in shape, they can improve, they can work on some different things, maybe play a different position or something. That's kind of what this league is for. So to see those other guys say things like, let's see if we can develop you and help you enough to get you overseas, chase your dream. I think that's so awesome, because the basketball community as a whole, it actually is a lot of this. That's why I say to players, like, to improve, like, some of the best things you can do is become, like, you know, everyone says you have to have, everyone's got to be a rival or an enemy, but if you can develop some personal relationships with some of the guys that you're playing against in your league, or some of the other imports in the league. One of my favorite things was getting all the imports together and us playing open gym, so playing pickup with all the other top players from their teams. Why just play with your teammates, who are, some of them are locals, some of them are imports, when you can get a bunch of imports together and y'all can play a higher level of run? In that, you can also ask questions like, hey, why do you do this move? Or you can start studying people's work ethic. You can start seeing how often they practice. You can just learn so many things from different players. And oftentimes, and this is the same with coaching, oftentimes if you just ask somebody something, they'll help you. Like most people that love the game of basketball are all about pushing the game forward. They're not about like gatekeeping and holding back secrets. I don't know too many people like that. And the ones that are like that, I just don't talk to them anymore, or I just don't give them any of my stuff then. Like, I'm not going to help you if you're not going to help me. But it's so cool to see that at this level.
Yeah.
If you're really playing at a high level.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. For sure.
Yeah, good group of guys, man. So, all right.
Awesome.
We're going to take you down to the store and get you some gear. Let's do that.
All right, so the next part I wanted to look at was, I think this is really cool.
And my whole life has been in like professional athletics, and now, working with athletes, teams, individuals, and like business leaders in like optimizing their holistic human performance. And so it turns out this experience is like a little bit of that equation.
So just like active recovery. So I never had an area like this. This is cool. It's like a whole farm, and it's got all these different setups. Never had anything like that. But when you go overseas, majority of the places you go won't have something like this that a team has set up for you. Most of the times you have to find your own way to recover, way to heal, set up your own connections for these sort of things. So I thought this was really cool that Vancouver has this, again, unless they're just doing it to make it look like they have all these things, but it seems like this is what they do for all their team, all their players. But that's just something to think about. Typically overseas, you'll have to take care of your own weightlifting, and then you'll have to take care of your own recovery. And that's where I see most imports not be able to keep up with it, because they're used to being at a college program or somewhere that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do when you need to do it. This is kind of a cool little facility. It's like a little conditioning session with the basketball, which is kind of cool. I think there needs to be more of this sort of stuff. I love this for like footwork and just handling the basketball like against contact. This stuff is really good and really simple.
Got to be able to make shots when you're tired.
He could shoot. That's one thing I could give you. He could shoot really well.
Apparently this guy's going to the NBA or going to an NBA, or he's in the G League and he's going to be on a different G League team next year. I really like their facilities.
We have to build a bit of a new schedule for the week. Just some guys' flights changed and different things, so working through that. Everything.
Yeah, and interesting here, like, I don't know how much of this stuff they do during the season. Like he said, most of the guys aren't even here. Don't quote me on this, but I'm wondering if a guy like Mitch Creek, who, like I said, he's elite. He is an elite basketball player. Played in the NBA. Like he plays on this team, probably best player on this team. I haven't seen him yet. Maybe he's in this. I can't remember. But I don't know if he would do all the same stuff they're doing. Like, I'm assuming he would have his own workouts and stuff he's doing, and then would probably attend team workouts. But maybe that's why these guys come here, because this is a really good workout regimen or team regimen. So, because they're doing quite a lot. They're doing like 2-a-days, 3-a-days, like a lot of crazy stuff that, a lot of clubs don't do overseas. But a few of them have said that's why they like this club, is because they want to come here to prepare for their next season. So that'd be interesting to see.
For you guys, it'd be roughly the same. All right, you guys ready? Okay, so for today, part of it is working on your speed, but because it's basically an off day, active stretching, blood flow, okay, lots of that stuff. But we are going to work on some speed and work a little bit too. Okay?
Cool.
All right.
Again, this is that active recovery, what a lot of people don't think about. Like, an off day is not necessarily an off day. You can get a lot done on an off day, and also our bodies are incredibly resilient. So even though it's an off day, you can still work on so many different things. videography and all that's so cool.
Conditioning, baby. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling too good. Like, I might just go chill. Honestly, I'm not sure what I'm about to do.
True basketball player. So one of the things I always thought was funny, I love video games. You guys know I love to play video games, but a lot of that started really, like, you know, back in the day we used to play outside all the time, but we would play basketball for so long and I'd be so tired. You get home, you don't want to do anything, so I would just play video games. Then it came out like years later, like Kevin Durant does that. All he does is play video games. People would always be like, all basketball players do is play video games. I'm like, yeah, because they're doing so much crazy stuff. And then you're like, I just want to go home and chill. And that feeling he just had, that's when you know you've had a you've had a good week of work. You're like, I might just chill, man. And honestly, I don't remember if it's the first game he did really well or the second game, scrimmage, I mean. But if he's preparing like this, if he did this for 3 weeks or a month, 2 weeks even, he would actually be in the perfect position to see a lot of success on that court. And I think one of the games he did have like a breakout performance, had a lot of points. But a lot of teams that you're going to play, if they're semi-pro or if they're lower than semi-pro, like I think the scrimmages were, he would be in so much better shape. The conditioning and just being prepared, part of it, he'd have a head start on a lot of those guys. And oftentimes people don't understand that's half the battle. If you can show up to training camp and be in better shape, you're going to look better than the other players. You're going to get more initial playing time than the other players. You're going to have that head start. A ton of people, I made this mistake my very first year of college. I showed up out of shape and I never caught up. And it was just a downhill from there, and then I was playing from behind. So always being in better shape is definitely going to give you a huge advantage, especially if you're playing against people that are at your same level.
And I'm also focusing on just being prepared for May 8th, my first game with them. I definitely don't want to go out there and
Can I ask for anything else as a big guy for real? You know, and he can really shoot the ball. I feel like people don't really know, but when they start seeing some clips of him and when we start playing up and down and seeing the scrimmage footage.
Honestly, he's probably a fan. They're probably around the same age, if I had to guess, which is pretty cool. I mean, he probably seems a lot older, but I think Tristan's like 25 or 26. This guy seems around the same or younger. So yeah, he might actually be like a huge fan of him. So this would be so cool for some of those guys. Some of the older guys might dislike it because I've been in that situation where you have guys come over and maybe it's a relative of the coach that gets an opportunity or it's an influencer that comes over. I've been in those situations. Not very fun if you're one of the older players, but it seems like everyone's like taken to him pretty well. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to say, like, I can understand the people that are upset with the video because it does seem very it could be misconstrued as very disingenuous, but I also understand the people that think now going overseas and playing pro is very easy because he's made it seem very lighthearted and like it's going to be the simplest thing ever. He got a very rare opportunity that most players out of college, most players even out of the G League are not going to get an opportunity because of his YouTube channel and because of everything he's done going forward. So that's how he got that opportunity. The interesting thing is what he's going to do with that opportunity. And like I said, everyone's journey is different. It depends on what you do with that opportunity once you get there. And I've been there. I've been at that point where the only reason I got an opportunity was because I happened to know somebody that played on my team in the past, or maybe I just played against a team and this coach left to a different league and then he recruited me to come play for his team the next year. It's all chance. It's all luck. There's plenty of players way better than me that never made it to the level I did. There's plenty of players worse than me that are in the NBA. It's just a game of chances. You have to have the machine behind you a little bit to make it all the way. And it's just the way the cookie crumbles. And all we can do is like what we can do with the opportunities given to us. So I like this content. I think it's great, even though, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of some of the content that's more geared towards kids. So a lot of highlight stuff or whatever. So Tristan Tjass's content is a lot more geared towards the younger players, but I appreciate it and I understand it, and I yeah, I think this content right here, behind the scenes stuff, is great. I think it's really good. So anyways, wanted to give that take due to the amount of comments and controversy on that last video. I did just want to lay the record straight on where I fell with it all, and definitely go check this out. I'll put the link down below as per usual. But yeah, any other videos, any other things you guys want me to talk about, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.